We're talking about the blower door test we do, which is a required element of the Energy Star program. First thing we would do is we set this blower door up in the front door, generally, of a home. And the reason we do this is so we can measure how much air is leaking into this home. When we turn the blower door on, it's going to depressurize this house. So it's going to start sucking air out of the house. So any micro crack or any area that's open, we will know that that area is leaking to the house. We'll be able to test that area, and we will find those areas with the blower door. It's the only way to test the home. This is the final grade on an Energy Star home. This is the last thing we do. Once the house is all put together, we come here and do this test, and this will help us determine whether this house qualifies for Energy Star or the Ameren Act on Energy program. Once the blower door is installed, we set our gauges up, and we will turn the blower door on and start depressurizing this home, and we'll measure how much air leaks to this house. The measurements we get on this gauge will be entered into a computer program that we take back to the office called REM rate. And this number, along with many other infiltration numbers, the square footage of the home, square footage of windows, what type of windows, what type of insulation, what type of heating and air conditioning equipment are installed in this home, will be entered in this program. And that program will help us determine whether this house qualifies for Energy Star or not. At this point, I'm going to turn the blower door on. It's going to get a little bit loud for a second, and we'll get a measurement on this gauge to see how much air is leaking into this home at this time. This gauge measures pressure and flow. On the left side, we have the gauge. This is measuring pressure. This side is measuring flow across the fan. So this green hose goes outside and gives us a pressure that is outside, tells us how much, what the barometric pressure is outside. The green hose, the red hose, measures pressure across the fan. So we want to measure how much this house leaks at 50 pascals of pressure. So we adjust the fan till we get as close as we can to 50 pascals on the left side of the gauge. You see, we're just about there. And it will vary a little bit as pressure changes outside, as the wind blows outside. We'll get some slight variances. But we can see that at about 50 pascals on the left side of the gauge, we're pulling 1,000 CFM of air, which is cubic feet per minute of air across this fan at this time. Very good number. This house is very tight. We see some that are a little bit lower, but many are much higher. Especially a non-Energy Star house could be in the 2000s. So this house is doing very, very well. We take this number, this is what we plug into the computer that we talked about earlier, to get us that reading so we know how much air this house is leaking. And again, this is the final test we do on the home, and at that point we'll be able to tell if this house passes Energy Star. Another requirement for Energy Star is sealed ductwork. So the ductwork needs to be sealed at every joint with either mastic, which you would paint on with a brush, or with special duct tape. Not the handyman's secret weapon duct tape, but duct tape that is rated, that will stay on the joints. Regular duct tape, if you see that, it will not pass. It will not stay on the joints once that house starts using the HVAC equipment. It will not stay on the joints. So you can see every joint on this furnace is sealed with this special duct tape so that we know that the duct will not leak. These ducts are tested as part of the Energy Star requirement. We use a device similar to the blower door we showed you upstairs, and it's hooked right to the furnace, and we depressurize the duct system, and we take readings with our GG700 gauge so we know how much duct leakage is in this home, and if it exceeds a certain amount when we plug in the computer, the house will not pass Energy Star. This house passed with flying colors. The ducts are sealed well. This house also has a 95% efficient gas forced air furnace. Most houses today are in the 90s, 92, and a lot of your homes, and you're still going to see some 80% efficient furnaces even in new construction today. So as we can see, this house is near the end of the scale. The highest point on this scale is 96.8. So this furnace is going to work much more efficiently than many of the homes that are in this neighborhood. We also have an Energy Star rated gas hot water heater over here with a power vent system, so it's safer and more efficient. It's going to deliver hot water when you need it, and we're not going to have a chance of flame roll out of the bottom because this is a completely sealed combustion system on this hot water heater. So again, we have sealed ducts, high efficiency furnace, and high efficient power vented hot water heater. The furnace is also power vented. You can tell from this PVC pipe that the air coming out of this furnace, the exhaust gases, are cool enough that they will not melt its PVC pipe. So it's running very efficiently. That means all the heat is going into the house and not out the ductwork.